Hello and welcome to another video with me. I'm your friendly Finnish, fiendishly fast farting guitar player. I don't know how to put in a lot of F there, so it's alliteration if you studied poetry. This is the Dunlop Mini Crybaby, and that's the pedal that I'm basically taking a look at, but I'm also going to compare it to the Morley Bad Horsie 2. Why? Why am I comparing these two pedals when they're totally different? Why am I not comparing this to a regular Crybaby? Well, I guess you have to stick around to find out why, because there might be a point to this, I'm not exactly sure. But I'll be right back after this intro. Alright, so like I said, I'm taking a look at this and this. Yes, the Dunlop Mini Crybaby. And I had this on my shopping list for a while, and I did a short video where I played with it a bit. And today I thought I'd talk about it a bit more and also talk about this. There's not a huge lot to talk about in terms of features. It's a wah, and this is a wah. One is smaller, one is bigger, and yeah, well, I'll get these hooked up and play a bit and talk a bit, so you can, yeah, I don't know, I'll just shut up and hook them up. Alright, so welcome back. Now I've tuned my guitar and I have everything hooked up, and here is my clean tone without anything else going on. Apart from the two wahs, I have a noise gate and an Yngwie Malmsteen overdrive, because this is what happens with the Yngwie Malmsteen overdrive. That's where you need the noise gate. And I also have a delay. But let's start off with a clean tone and a bit of wah on the Mini Crybaby. So something like Jimi Hendrix would be appropriate for that kind of thing. It sounds quite nice, and I think it sounds very much like a regular Crybaby. I have two of those, one's broken and I've lent the other one to a friend of mine, so I don't have it here with me, but it sounds very much like your regular Crybaby. Some people think it's actually better than the regular Crybaby. This is what the Morley Bad Horsie 2 sounds like. Now, I only use it as a regular Bad Horsie because the Bad Horsie 2 has a contour function. I never use that. This is just the regular thing. And here it is. Well, here is the Mini Crybaby with overdrive, and I'll just use the noise gate as well and add a bit of delay. And here's the Morley Bad Horsie 2. The differences between the pedals, or the major difference for me in terms of use, is that the Crybaby is a regular type of Crybaby where you have to actually engage it before you start using it. So it has a little button, you press down the pedal and then it engages. The Morley, you just step on it and it instantly engages by itself, and when you let go, it just turns off by itself. Um, I don't care, basically, which system. Both are fine for me, but that might be something that interests you. Now, sound-wise, I like both. The thing about wah pedals for me is that the sweep is different in different wah pedals. Sound-wise, I don't really care too much as long as it's a wah, but the sweep is fairly important for me. I like the middle bit, the middle of the sweep, to be fairly large so that you can hone in on kind of subtle differences there, because I like to stand on my wah and not just do this kind of that kind of thing. I like doing the thing where I just stand on it a bit. Now, that was the Morley Bad Horsie 2, and it makes a bit of a buzzing noise before it turns off. That's fine for me because I'm always playing it in a band situation anyway, so I don't care about a bit of buzz. It gets drowned out by the bass and drums and the other guitar player and so on. The problem I have, and this is a major problem for me with the Mini wah, I bought this pedal and I instantly kind of liked it here in the studio setting. I think it sounds great, and the thing is that smaller is usually better. When you think of your pedal board, a small wah, especially a wah, saves a ton of space. The Morley is, I was about to say a naughty word there, I will anyway, it's fucking huge. It takes up half your pedal board, even if you have a mile of pedal board. It's bloody enormous. It is. It's bloody enormous. It is. Whereas the Mini Crybaby, it's so tiny. But that's actually the problem. I prefer smaller pedals because they save space, but not in the case of the wah pedal, because I've been using it live now for a couple of times, the Mini Crybaby, and what I noticed is that it's too small. I don't know where it is under my foot, especially if I'm wearing boots, because they have a slight heel, and I don't know what I'm standing on. It feels like I don't know where the pedal is. I have to listen to it, which is a bother. I have to listen to my own playing. Terrible stuff. But yeah, I don't want to have to listen to it. I just want my foot to do everything kind of naturally, and then I can just hear what the sound's like. Don't have to want to search for the sound with my ear and then try to adjust my foot accordingly when I don't know what the pedal is doing under my foot. And that's the problem I had with the Mini Crybaby. Is it for you? Well, it depends on what kind of thing you like, and it might be just fine, and it might even depend on the type of shoes you're using. It's much better for me when I'm not wearing boots. I don't wear boots other than on shows, basically, but still, don't use a wah other than when I'm playing, so it's fine if I'm walking around on the streets. Whatever. And yeah, that's kind of the biggest thing for me, is the fact that the Morley is so big that I instantly know where it's kind of at, whereas the Crybaby, half the time I don't know which part of it I'm standing on, and that's a big no-no for me. Sound-wise, I mean, this is a great pedal. It's slightly different sound-wise to the Morley, slightly, and kind of has a different use. The Morley for me is more for kind of just standing on and finding that kind of sweet spot for each and every note, whereas the Crybaby is slightly more extreme in my view, and but the thing that clinches it for me is basically size, and it's totally the opposite from every other pedal that I've tried. I like the bigger one more. Yeah, so that's why I'm comparing these two pedals. It's the size issue. And I know a regular Crybaby is larger, and I would have compared a larger Crybaby to the smaller one, but I didn't have one here. And kind of the Morley illustrates the point just fine. I mean, for me, the sound, well, I don't care. I could use either one, but size is an issue. It's not how big it is, it's how you use it. And yeah, so for me, the Morley, definitely, it got so bad actually that I was looking at a mini Morley and decided against getting one because I decided I don't like small wah pedals. I want a big old wah pedal. I'll just get a big enough pedal board that I can fit one on there. It's the one pedal that I use the most live. I mean, I always have the overdrive, almost always turned on, but I don't step on it too often. That's the thing. I step on the wah constantly, so I want it to be really comfortable. So that's something you might want to take into consideration if you're thinking about getting a mini wah. Size could be an issue, especially if you have a large foot, and I don't even have that large of a foot. So if you have a large foot, I'd definitely be careful when getting a mini wah. Get something second hand so it doesn't drop in value too much. Try it out at the local music store, or borrow one from a friend if you can before buying one, because sound-wise it's great, but it might just be too small for you. So that's basically all I have for you today. It was a discussion about the size of my gear. And I'm going to end by playing a bit on the mini wah, because I've done a longer video with the Morley and I always use it on these videos. So I'll just use the mini wah for this, and this is the last time I'll use it because I'm going to sell it. I honestly don't like it because it's too small. I love the sound, don't like the size. That's all I have for you today. I hope you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you have something you want to say, if you have a wah pedal that you prefer, please let me know. Let me know what you thought of the video. If you have some really negative comments, why don't you shove them where the sun doesn't shine? And subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that little bell notification thing. And support me on Patreon if you haven't already, because I buy the gear that I review, so you get an honest review. Honest review of the Dunlop Mini Crybaby. I don't like it. I love the sound, but usability is, for me, shite. So, that's all I have. I'm going to end with a bit on the Mini Crybaby, just to say goodbye to it. It's on the floor there. And I hope to see you in another video. Take care. See you. Goodbye.